Y is recorded in front of a live studio audience.
Oh, you did? Do you
I
want me to
did.
get my AirPods?
No, it was me.
Oh, good.
What
Because,
do you
I
mean,
do
no good?
full stuff. But I
Right,
did
yeah.
get AirPods if that would be better. Or if you want to say terrible things about my family.
I mean, do you want to type some suggestions into the chat and we can go from there?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yes, excellent. So how is Northern Michigan?
It's cold, but
Okay.
it's good. I
Oh,
ran this morning.
you ran? What was
Yeah,
chasing you?
probably a bear, but I didn't see it.
I see.
Mhm.
Um, do you do that a lot? You run?
No, not really. I did
Okay.
years ago. I did the Detroit Half Marathon.
Right. That one I remember because they lost you.
Yes, my family
Yes.
lost me
Yes.
on purpose, I think. And then I
Can't
do,
blame them.
right.
Yes.
When I come up here, I will run the road because it just feels like you should.
Okay.
And I mean, it's a jog or it's a run walk,
Okay.
you know.
All right. I didn't know
Oh, I
this.
did it today. I did the Peloton 30-minute Usher walk run.
Okay. But you weren't on the Peloton or Usher.
No,
Correct.
one of those would have been
Yes.
fantastic.
Right.
But yes, no, I was not. But I
Okay.
did go to that private concert with Usher years ago.
Did he have the tantra chair then?
He did not. It was pre-tantra there. And it
Mm.
was at a very small nightclub at the MGM Grand in Detroit. And
So they couldn't
it
fit
was
it.
for the tantra chair.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
Yes. And I'm glad that the world now thinks I'm active and fit.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
perfect.
Peloton or Usher will give us a
If
call.
either one of them is listening, our lines are open.
I know. Well, at least we gave a shout out to our friend AJ and the tantra chair, which is still the greatest piece of furniture ever.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of people saying, "Oh, what's that?"
Yeah.
Not as many as you want.
No, I do have a lot of
Well,
people.
okay.
But oddly, we've talked about this before. If ever he wanted to repurpose it, and perhaps people weren't into tantra anymore,
Right.
it is an excellent race car ramp for kids, slide
Oh,
for small children. It is by far the most popular thing in my home to my nieces and nephews for very different reasons than its original intent.
right. That's amazing. That's all you could
Mhm.
ask for, I feel like, right?
Yes.
This is Why, with your hosts, Heidi Hedquist and Luke Poling.
All my emotions at once.
Yep.
That's perfect.
It really is. It sums up the show in a nice way.
Up everything.
Kind of graceful and pretty sounding, but really dirty right underneath.
Exactly.
It's what everyone wants.
Uh-huh.
And that is if we can't get the Serge Gainsbourg choir of children with stubble smoking and drinking.
Oh, I think we absolutely can get, but they won't be. Well, yeah, we can still.
I can't believe anybody did that. And I get it, they're French.
Oh,
so there's another layer of.
I know, but it's just.
And the fact that he's sitting there weeping.
Yes.
As these children are all dressed up
yes.
like him. Presumably during a very difficult phase in his life.
One would think, yes.
And this all goes back to it's not Charlotte, that's his daughter, Jane Birkin stuff, where apparently there's a documentary about her made by Charlotte.
Really?
Yes. That I need to look up and watch. Because she's one of those people that you hear of and there's like bits and pieces where you're like, oh, what's the song? The Je t'aime, I don't know the rest of it. That it's not Ursula Andress. Bridget Bardot refused to sing with him, that kind of stuff. But I just am shocked I got through the whole internet meme of I'm this days old when I realized that in France they paid tribute to Serge Gainsbourg by having a bunch of children dress up like him.
Unreal.
And
It's really
how many parents were backstage going like, no, let's work on the stubble. No, you got to hold your
for
cigarette
sure.
like this.
Absolutely.
Hold
I
your
would,
tumbler of scotch this way.
yes. I would.
Is it rocks? Is it not? Like, I
feel like
the,
it's not rocks. No rocks.
yeah, no, I think he would definitely want it straight. Does everybody in the Go Topless movement for the organization, do they all sign their emails breast instead of best? Or is that just your assistant?
No, I think she was just trying to make fun,
Okay. No, she
Love
did.
it.
I got it. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was fully
She
appreciated.
said, she said you have a good sense of humor. You appeared to, you said like you were, your radio was represented everywhere, but Antarctica. or something.
Antarctica, yes.
So she said she would, she was going to be a little funny for
Perfect.
Perfect. No, we're thrilled with that.
Yes, we highly recommend everyone adopts that. I think it will move it'll
Isn't
move
it
the
fun,
movement
though?
along. Yes,
you.
absolutely.
But you're right away on the right page,
Mhm,
Yes, exactly.
How did you get involved in the movement?
So I am a Rileyan female priest.
Hmm.
So I am with the Rileyan movement. I've been with the Rileyan movement for the last 40 years. And so I was close to Rael, my spiritual leader, at the time when Phoenix Feely got arrested in New York for being topless.
Hmm.
And it was a big deal. It was all over the news. And Maitreya Rael said, we should really do something about topless rights, because we realized she got arrested, she sued the city, and she won. Because obviously the state of New York is legally, it's legal to be topless in New York. So then, Maitreya Rael said, we should really work on gender equality from that angle. And, I was, of course, born and raised in France. Here's my accent. And, I've seen my grandmother go topless. I've seen my mom go topless. I've seen my cousins. In the 1980s, it was very, very common for women to go topless. Of all ages, it was so widespread, And so I said, let's see if we can change the culture in the United States, and let's go on. Let's try that. To improve gender equality, and so then I embarked on the journey, and in 2000, so we started in 2007, and I am, I'm the president of Go Topless, and I've been at it ever since.
Well,
So
congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's interesting. I looked at your website and you have one, to start, this is mostly a US based movement that Americans seem to be the most
Brutish.
Yep, that's a good word. Prudish,
Mhm.
uptight is another
Uptight.
word.
Have bad tan lines. We can go on and on.
Yes. But it looks like on your site that the vast majority of states in the US allow toplessness and have some sort of equality in that regards. But it seems like that is not enough, that there still needs to be more movement for people to understand that, no, this is okay. This is equality. This is all of those things.
Yeah. So it's not only a US movement, it's worldwide, because even in Europe, I was telling you in the 1980s, it was very common to see women topless. Well, in France today, it's much less common. So it seems that people have become more Puritan in Europe. And so we have Go Topless activists there to really to reinforce the fact that this is not just a trend. It's like you going topless. And I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Luke.
Luke or Heidi.
Yeah, Luke
Yes,
and
yes.
Heidi.
Yes.
So Luke,
Yes.
it's not a trend for you to take off your shirt. If you want to take off your t-shirt, you can do it anytime. It wasn't just in the 1980s. You just, it's just the way you are, what you do. And we want this to be the same for women. It's not just a 1980s trend and now, it's not done anymore. No, we want to have the right to do that anytime, in 2030, So it's really important to keep on top of things so that they don't take away our rights. So in Europe, you have to have a presence. In Africa, we have a presence too, because, the colonizers have done a number on, of course, in Africa, they were
They've
very
done several
comfortable with
numbers, let's
nudity
be
and
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now, it's much more difficult for these women to be topless. And then, of course, in Asia, in Southeast Asia, in Bali, the women used to be topless. And then, the missionaries came, and, people in Tahiti, people in Hawaii, all of that region became very conservative once again, so we have to be everywhere. In India, not even start there. It's all over the place. We really have to, South America as well. So it's, gender equality. You can take off your t-shirt, Luke. I want to have the right to do the same thing. And that's all. Just as plain as that.
Seems pretty simple. Why do you think, obviously the colonizers and all those challenges that we touched on, but why do you think in these recent years we're seemingly to go backwards, both in Europe and in the United States with these types of things? I know it's a loaded question. I'm so sorry, but I'm fascinated by it.
I'm not sure where it comes from. I don't know I know that in Europe, the United States influence us culturally very much, Netflix and, everything that you do, Europe takes in, not only commercially, but in terms of, culture. We absorb the American culture. And so if the American culture tends to be more Puritan, suddenly the young population is going to take it in. And so I think this is what's happening. So people are tending to be more conservative with their nudity, with their body. And this is just not the way that it's good to go. If you want to be a fulfilled individual, you have to be comfortable with your body. And as women, we really have to be empowered by our bodies, feeling comfortable with ourselves. And this is why we're going to New York City. We're going to have our Go Topless in New York City on August 26th. And people ask us, but it's already legal to be topless there. Why are you going there? But we go there because we want to encourage the women to exercise their right. Because when you have this, when you feel uncomfortable with your body, it's difficult to come out of the cage. So if somebody invites you out, or if you see somebody that's already out of the cage, you're thinking, well, maybe it's safe for me to do that too. And little by little, they need this encouragement. And it's the same thing with women when they wanted to go to vote, in the 1920. In fact, this is the reason why we have Go Topless Day on August 26th, because August 26, 1920 was when women, 1920 was when women had earned the right to vote, the 19th Amendment. And, at the time it was indecent for women to partake in politics. They had to stay home, raise the children. And if you were part of politics, it was indecent. This is not what women do, right? And they had to be encouraged to vote, to speak their voice. And so today, it seems that intellectually women are more empowered, but their body is still way too subdued. And so this encouragement needs to be there year after year after year. This radio show, I really hope that, women that will be listening to us will think, why not? Why not
right.
Go Topless? And you don't have to wait for Go Topless Day. You can try, in your house. Go topless, go nude even.
Yeah.
Start with the house, start with the backyard. Start with, places where it's safe for you and where you're not going to be arrested. And then little by little, gain some confidence. And when I go to New York, I go topless.
Love it.
I'm in Central Park, I go topless, and people look, well, okay. If it's hot,
Mhm.
In the summer in New York, it's hot. Huh?
It is.
So I'm allowed, I go topless. And in fact, I go topless in many places. For example, I was in California a few weeks ago, and I went to the Catalina Island. It's right in front of Los Angeles.
Mhm.
And there is a place in Catalina Island. It's called the Two Harbor. And then you can take a little trail, and there's not very many people on that trail. And I saw guys going down the trail, and they didn't have their T-shirt. And I thought, oh, you don't have your T-shirt? Well, I'm taking off mine.
Yeah.
And so, they look at you strangely, and then they go on their way. And I think this is how we educate. You see, this is how we educate, how we open the mind, and how, people think, oh, okay, so nothing happened to me. I saw this person topless, it wasn't sexual, it was nothing, it was just this person going by.
Mhm.
So I think that the more we do that, the more we exercise our rights, the more people are going to think it's a non-event. It's a non-event, and sometimes, some ladies have very beautiful, a beautiful body. So you look just like you would see somebody, with short skirt and beautiful legs. Okay, so you look, it's beautiful, she's sexy. And then what? That's it.
Right.
So it's really important to educate society, to change the culture, because the more we are comfortable with ourselves, men and women, the more peaceful our society is going to be. Because when we're not comfortable with ourselves, we create aggressivity.
Mhm.
So, and it's super, super important. Of all the mammals on Earth, we're the only ones with a problem with our breast. I mean, like your cat.
True.
Does your cat wear a bra or something?
Oh,
No, good point.
your cat
Yeah.
should wear a
The
bra.
dogs,
Lou.
Yeah,
the
probably.
Every mammal, only for humans, we have this fixation with these, boobies.
Well, everyone's terrified of them. It's almost like a fear, right? Not even just of doing it themselves, of if they see somebody.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Is there a place from the movement that you've really seen really start to, they're coming along, they're figuring it out, place that stands out like that?
No, I think in New York City, they're figuring it out. There's more and more, I think there's more and more people, like, these ladies, they go out in Central Park and they read a book, the
Mhm.
topless, what are they called? I can't remember.
Oh, is this
the
the
name.
crime fiction group?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
I can't think of the name, but yes.
That's kind of nice. And and sometimes you do see a topless woman, in Central Park on the lawn there. No, I'm thinking that it is coming along. And also I think that more and more celebrities are you see them sometimes topless with a beautiful outfit, but it's topless.
Mhm.
And so I think that it also carries, well, if we want to talk about the trend, it helps, it
Right.
helps along and saying, well, this very, very famous person does it. Now, maybe let me try it. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And when I am on the Strip, I see that more and more women own their body, whatever shape it is. And in Las Vegas, when you go down the Strip, women are sometimes not wearing very much at all.
Mhm.
So I'm noticing also in the culture that there is this whole, becoming comfortable with self. And I think that the self, the being topless is all part of that. That, I'm happy with, whatever shape and weight I am. And, I don't, I don't want to be shamed for that. And I don't want to be shamed for my toplessness. You see, we go in the same way, no shame. It's important to feel no shame and no guilt, about one's nudity.
Well, and this seems to be a group that there's very little you have to do to join, essentially, is just quite literally take off your shirt and you're part of the movement.
Yes.
And do you feel like this is a movement that's heading in the right direction? Are you kind of trying to swim upstream, or are people, like you said, kind of reaching that level of acceptance and that realization that everyone looks the same, maybe different, but the same, and that there is that body acceptance, and whatever scars or just anything else about you like is wonderful because it is part of you. Are you getting that vibe? Are people coming around to that?
Yes, along the years, the women that had, for example, breast cancer, and then have come, and they, of course, they had a mastectomy or whatever, that, they felt so empowered to be part of us. So, and I've noticed that group was really, really happy that we were out in the open, so that they could be there too, and like warriors. But whether we are, if we had a physical problem or not, we still have to be comfortable with ourselves. The only problem that society still has, and I think it's just a justification, it's the part about children. You see, because, yes, you can be topless on that beach over there, when there is a sign, but, we don't want you to be close to the children. Well, I have news for the people of the earth. Breasts are family friendly. It's like, it's the way it is. We have breasts to nourish the children, and it's part of our culture. It's part of human life. So when you're a child and you see your mom topless, you have there is no sexual thought, there's
Right.
nothing. These, a human
You're thinking
being,
dinner.
just like
Right.
Yeah.
we go through puberty, and when you see somebody topless, you may have a reaction when you're 13, 14, 15, and then and then that's it. You are educated to respect, important to respect the women, and it's just part, we just have to take it as it's part of life. It's part of life. It's just normal. It's this society, by trying to make, by compartmentalize, you topless, you go on to that beach, you're a nudist, okay, you go on to that place, and then you are clothed, okay, you are allowed to be with the children. No, we are human beings, and we just have to mingle and to teach each other respect, and from a young age, you see, from a young age. So, and you see, with Go Topless, we've gone through different court cases. We can go topless both and free the nipple, because in the last 10 years, of course, we've tried to progress with the courts, because although many states you're allowed to go topless in theory, when you start to do it, you notice that certain cities have voted ordinances to go against your right. For example, Colorado Springs. In Colorado Springs, so it was Britt Hoagland, I think, who went topless, and it went through the courts because the Colorado Springs said she couldn't do it. It was too close to an elementary school or something like that. And then her argument, her lawyer's argument was, but if a man takes off his shirt in front next to an elementary school, would you have the same reaction? So anyway, it went all the way to the 10th District Court, and the 10th District Court agreed with them and threw it back to Colorado Springs and said, Colorado Springs didn't have enough of an argument to hold. And what happened with that, because she won, is the 6 states became topless: Utah, New Mexico, Wyoming, Oklahoma, Kansas City, and of course, Colorado. So that was interesting. It was interesting that even the thing about they tried to play the child card,
Right.
oh, she was, and it didn't hold in court. However, Go Topless, an activist, one of our activists called Sonoko Tagami, she was topless in Chicago, and she got a ticket for going topless. Okay. So we also went through the course, and that was the 7th District Court. But on our end, the reason why we didn't win, would you believe? I guess you cannot guess. You cannot guess.
Don't try
what
to
the argument
assume,
was.
yeah.
I'll tell you, I couldn't believe it. They said that because of the sensibility of the people, you cannot go topless.
Ouch.
Wow. So that means that women's equality or gender equality is under people's sensibility.
Yes.
But
That's very unsensible.
so that means that imagine somebody is not comfortable with you dating a Black person. Well, they may feel sensitive. That's their sensibility.
Right.
It's still.
There's a few other things that fall under that heading of, I'd rather you didn't do that.
And it went through. And you know what? They used the same argument in Ocean City, Maryland. Same argument, sensibility of the people. So we still have a long ways to go because, of course, and this was we were in the 7th District Court. Maryland, they were in the 1st District Court or 2nd District Court, I can't remember. And so we all try to bring our case to the Supreme Court because, in the end, they have to tell us, does it hold that sensibility of the people? The Supreme Court should know.
Don't ask these guys.
They rejected all the cases. So far, they didn't want to hear it. So as long as they don't want to hear it, then, Yeah. So when you were saying, do you see changes in society? I think that the big change in society will come from there when the court says, well, that's what the law of the land is, and I think that, So right now they don't even want to touch it. You see, they don't want even. But we have to have enough cases that eventually, they cannot just circle around it.
Right. I mean, these are the same people. Yeah, these are the same people who did put a dress on the Statue of Justice outside. Was it the Supreme Court where because she was topless with her scales?
And what was the name of this very conservative guy was he on the Bush, I think?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I can't remember his name now, nor should we give him any more time.
No, he doesn't need to be remembered.
But would you agree that there are some events where perhaps having a top on would be a good thing regardless of gender? I'm thinking in court, probably when you're grilling.
Grilling, definitely.
Anything else? We talked about the fact that we don't have listeners in Antarctica.
But it shouldn't be a law.
Very true. You should be able to grill topless if that is your scene.
Yeah. So, and at your own risk,
Mm-hmm.
And why in court?
I was just thinking because everyone's wearing clothes.
Okay.
And just sort of following the natural, if the idea is that you must dress, especially for a judge, attire appropriately. Yeah.
So what we're saying is then gender equality.
Mm-hmm.
If the guys have to wear a top, the women have to wear a top. We really, what Maitreya Rael really wanted to insist on is that gender equality, because even little girls, when they see their little brother being able to be topless, they can't, and they are little, they may be 6, 7, and then they get a spanking for not wearing that top. If they sometimes they're a little bit rebellious. What happens in their brain? Why is it that he can and I can't?
Of course.
What is a mom going to say? How do you justify that? So already in the brain, there is this, I'm not the same as, I'm not equal to him.
Well, to say nothing of the shame that you're adding to that as well.
Right.
Yes. It's really important to change all this culturally, because we are not raising our girls to be, strong and empowered because of that already when they're young. And it's tiny, huh?
But
It adds up.
If that's up,
It
yeah.
adds up. Yeah. Mhm.
So on the 26th, I'm assuming you're holding a rally in New York,
Yes.
and there's events across the country and around the world for people to go. Is it simply just come, take off your top, show that
Yes.
this is legal, this should
Yes.
not be
Mhm.
prosecutable in any way, shape, or form? That's all you got to do?
Yes, that's all you have to do.
Hmm.
And that's all
Easy
you
enough.
have to do. And yeah, and it's powerful in itself. It's
Yeah.
really powerful. It's just do it, like in the Nike
Mhm.
advertisement, just do it.
Yes.
And just to do it, even if you are by yourself, like I was where I was in California,
Mhm.
and when I was on top of the mountain, there was nobody.
Mhm.
And but it's powerful. It's so empowering. So I hope that every woman, does it, whether it's just in their backyard or, or if they go out in the center of the town, and even if they go in the center of the town with a little sign and they are hiding their nipples so that they don't get arrested, it still helps people thinking about it.
Mhm.
You're bringing this to the table, like, what if,
Right.
is this a possibility that I allow my brain to absorb? So yeah, so on Go Topless Day, I would be my wish that every woman, would go out in public and little sign and say, this is my right, this is my equal gender topless right.
International Go Topless Day is Saturday, August 26, 2023, and as you heard from Nadine, there's very little you have to do to join in the fun. For more information, you can check out their website, gotopless.org, or follow them on Facebook, where they're at facebook.com/gotopless, and if you want to follow them on Instagram, they are at gotopless.org1.
Why the Podcast is produced by the Professional Production Company. Please be sure to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts because we're shallow and need constant validation. For more information, you can check out our website, whythepodcast.com. And like everyone else, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Today's show was recorded and produced by Heidi Hedquist and myself from our world headquarters, located on the second floor of the professional office building, centrally located downtown. Our reluctant executive producers are John Sauvé and Sandy Stone. Our willing producers are Rachel Allen and Randy Jeanette. Our intern is Zach Jackson. This one's for Philippe. Thanks for joining us. Flash, we're coming home.
Nigel, is that you? Are you here, Nigel?